Welcome back, guys. Yes, we do have game number 2, this time for real. It is for real. We are going to have TechTwo up for Team Infinity, another TVT. TechTwo is a silver player, shadowLurker is a top-ranked bronze player, both Terrans. We will see how this goes. Team Emanations is up 1-0. Let's see if TechTwo can bring Infinity back into this. Lonnie, stop. That is my dog, guys. Her name is Lonnie, and she loves to bark at people who come to the door. Just a UPS man dropping off some boxes. Shh. She's still growling, even though she cannot see the door. What a smart dog. Hey, relax. That is my puppy dog, guys. I love her very much. Anyways, guys, we will have TechTwo for Team Infinity spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. This is Cloud Kingdom. In the top right corner, we have shadowLurker from Team Emanations, who has put his team up 1-0 with this win over Pink Dagger. So we'll see if Infinity can climb back into this, or if Emanations will take a commanding 2-0 lead. Yes, there are 5 players for each team in a King of the Hill-esque rules. Winner goes on, loser goes on to the next person, and the first one to get 5 wins, or the first one to have all their players knocked out, is the loser, and the first one to knock all the other players out is the winner. Both players going for that wall off at this very exact same time. Yes, it is another TVT. We will see if we have anything different besides heavy bio play, or any type of, let's see if we have any type of Banshee or heavy mech play, which always is fun and enjoyable, up to the point where they're both at 200 mech. TechTwo getting that early 11 racks, could see maybe some early 2 racks pressure. shadowLurker getting a little bit later 12 racks, but that is not that big of a difference, but we will see the gas timings of both of these players and see exactly what they're thinking. Bonnie, hey, shh. Growling. She's still growling. If you can hear her, that's not my stomach, that is my dog. Yes, and the gas is going down for TechTwo, so it looks like it will not be any type of early 2 racks cheesy play, but we will see how it pans out. More saying that the first player to build a racks wins the game. That is not how TVT works, guys. Do not buy into that as much as you should. TechTwo only got 2 guys in gas. Maybe that's planned, maybe it's not. We will see exactly what he is thinking in the near future. TechTwo walling off a little later than shadowLurker. shadowLurker looking like he wants to try and hide something, but that supply depot is down, so SCV could easily run out and or run up and through the base. Still no gas here from shadowLurker, so it looks like it will be another early expand from him, which is always a very popular play. Reactor going down for TechTwo, so it looks like he does want to put on a little bit of early pressure. Still only got 2 guys on that gas, so I guess it was planned. Yes, he will throw down his second racks, maybe his third racks here in just a moment once he gets enough money. Mule's coming down for both players now. shadowLurker not yet, but he will. There it is, because if you don't build mules as a Terran player, you lose, because mules make all your money and dreams come true. TechTwo getting out his 2 second racks. Still no third one on the way. Saving up some money, so he might actually be going for an early expansion instead of some aggression. Looks like TechTwo will be able to win this Marine fight, but another Marine is on the way. We'll be able to pick it off easily, so an even trade there. TechTwo is a little unhappy about his Marine dying. That is okay. He fought for a good cause. Expansion is almost up. TechTwo saw it, so he knows exactly what he's up against and throws down his own command center of his own. Still pumping out Marines 2 at a time from this barracks. See what he does with this. He's going to build Marines or a tech lab on it. We will see. Bunker going down from shadowLurker. Looks like he is scared of a little bit early pressure, so it's a good idea for TechTwo to go for that expansion. Command center almost done for shadowLurker, and 2 more racks on the way and the 2 gas. So looks like he will be going for the same build as last time, that early, not early, but the bio play of him. See if he does any drops this time or just wants to roll straight through his opponent like he did last game. Second reactor on the way for TechTwo, so it looks like he will be going a Marine heavy build. Looks like he is going to build a 3rd racks. Yes, there it goes down now. Command center about halfway done, or a little over halfway. Orbital command now going down for shadowLurker. He will be working off of 2 orbitals and double gas. Has all his guys on his gas this game. Very nice by him. realizes his mistakes, makes improvements. That is how StarCraft works. That's how you get better at the game. You watch your replays, you know what you did wrong, you know why you did it wrong, you know what you were thinking, and then you just fix it. TechTwo getting the early engineering base. It looks like he will be getting that early +1 way ahead of shadowLurker. Looks like he's not thinking about throwing an engineering bay anytime soon. No, nothing yet. Still no tech labs or any add-ons for any of his barracks at all. Only reactors for TechTwo. He is pumping out Marines. Could possibly pumping out 5 at a time. 2 reactors in a tech lab are going down now for shadowLurker. First tech lab for TechTwo, so it looks like he will be going for that either combat shield, which is most likely what he's going to go for, or the stim. We have the factory on the way, so he probably will be going for that stim now. Still only working off of 1 gas though, so his medevac production will be a little bit delayed if he does not get that second gas up, and still only has 2 guys in gas. If he only has 2 guys in gas, his medevac production will be so stunted. It is not even funny. shadowLurker working off a 3 gas now has the upper hand, and that has his first factory almost finished, as well as TechTwo does. But +1 is going to be a huge deciding factor in the first engagement, because the engineering base just now started for shadowLurker as the upgrade crosses the halfway mark. Tech Lab going over TechTwo, so it looks like he will not be going for any of those, or any type of medevacs anytime soon. He will be going for tanks, but he did opt to go for stim without medevacs, so it looks like he does just want to win up in a straight-up engagement, does not want to have a prolonged fight, because then he will have to back off, go to medevacs, use all their energy to heal if he has any by that time. Still only has, there he goes, he has 3 guys in gas now, but still only working off of 1 gas, and you cannot keep tank production as much as you would like to with only 1 gas. TechTwo still not showing any signs of throwing down any more gas anytime soon, but we will keep an eye on that. Is a little bit supply blocked at the moment, but that's because he's pumping out Marines 5 at a time, or possibly could be pumping out 5 at a time. Did not bind this racks, or this barracks, excuse me, to a key. Looks like it might be bound to a different key, so he is not. There he goes. He now is building Marauders out of that barracks and building 4 Marines at a time out of his other 2. Still has a lot of money saved up in the bank, but that's because he has only 1 gas still. shadowLurker going up on his 4th gas now. Has 3 racks, has this upgrade on the way, has medevac production started, but his +1 is not done. TechTwo's is. This bunker will be a huge deciding factor in the next engagement if the +1 is not done. But it looks like TechTwo is not showing any signs of shadowLurker's moving out. Medevac's are going to be way out of position. If TechTwo can catch his army, that would be amazing for him. Stim's forward. Is going to go for a direct engagement here. Still no stim for there is a stim for shadowLurker, but he did not stim any of his units, and TechTwo's just going to roll through this army with this +1 advantage. And that is a really huge deal for TechTwo, and he will be able to pick off a medevac. Very nice play. Working on getting his 3rd now. Still only, there he goes. He now has his 2nd gas established, 3rd gas. Still only 1 guy on each of his geysers, though. TechTwo trying to make a run at his base, but that is not a good idea. He will skin it and see, oh, that's a bad idea. TechTwo, your units are also low. But he will pick off the bunker. Very nice play here, but he will lose all of his units, and +1 is just now finishing up for shadowLurker, so the next engagement will be a little more even and less lopsided. TechTwo sending his army back, realizes that his opponent has the upper hand for the time being. 5 racks now for shadowLurker, and he is producing double medevacs at a time. TechTwo just now starting his medevac production, throwing down his 2nd starport, so it looks like he does want to catch up in that medevac production as he realizes shadowLurker is way ahead of him in that category as well. Still no armory for either player, so it looks like +2 is going to be in the future, but not in the near future. Still only 1 guy on that gas that is natural. That could hurt his medevac production as he only has not that much gas yet. 3rd command center is nowhere in sight for shadowLurker, so it looks like he does want to go for some aggression here. He's not thinking about the meta game. He wants to get rid of his opponent as soon as possible. +1 armors has started for both players at around the same time. TechTwo still producing 4 Marines at a time. Has a little bit less production than shadowLurker, and shadowLurker is going to decide to move out. TechTwo has no tanks yet. shadowLurker does, but he's not bringing the tank with his army, getting out a huge chunk of his army. And TechTwo is going to get a really lucky scan, sees that shadowLurker's coming, and has to prepare for this. Both players are at +1 attack, and TechTwo looks like he's a little bit behind here in the army category. He needs to catch this army before it gets up the ramp and on his army. Looks like he will. Both players have a decent concave. TechTwo has the better concave. Throws down 2 bunkers, but it might be all too little too late. Pretty even fight here. I can't really see any of those medevacs, but 3 Marauders are in the back working away. More Marines here on the way for TechTwo. Has his 2 bunkers almost halfway done, and shadowLurker brings the rest of his army. Still did not bring his tank yet, and still has plenty of units sitting back at home, but he did reinforce his army. The 2 barracks, or 2 bunkers, are going to go up, and that is going to be a huge deal. TechTwo needs to load up. Yes, he will load his units in those bunkers, and that is going to be making him safe for now. And we will see exactly how this turns out. And it looks like, yes, oh, those medevacs are flying right over that bunker, and going to take 1 out. Going to take the rest of these units out, going to clean them up quite easily, and maybe be able to take out a couple more medevacs. 1 goes down. Oh, it's 2 goes down, and he just has 2 more, and they are going to get away unless TechTwo decides to stim and chase these all the way. And it looks like he might do just that. Stim runs out, and he's not stimmed again. Yes, TechTwo is going to fall back. shadowLurker still has no idea about this 3rd base, so that could be a very huge factor coming up here. 2nd reactor going down for TechTwo, so it looks like he will be getting that medevac production up very shortly. 2 more barracks going down for TechTwo. He will be working off of 6, while shadowLurker is still on only 4. Still producing double medevac, still only has 1 tank with no siege mode, so that tank is not going to be able to do too much, but the 3rd command center is just now starting. TechTwo gets a scan, sees the command center right as it goes down. Very lucky scans here for TechTwo. I have the 3-minute delay on the stream, so he's not stream cheating. If he was, then he's a hacker or something. He hacked into my computer and he's looking at my screen. I don't know how he's doing this. He does have a unit loaded up in this medevac. Looks like that unit will not be able to fight. Looks like shadowLurker is heading towards the 3rd base with half of his army and the natural with the other half. Oh, that's some pretty bad... and he does see the 3rd, and he is going to maybe try and take it out. TechTwo being bold and going for his 4th right in his face. shadowLurker has no idea about that yet. You're just going to stim in here, try to pick up his 3rd. Looks like they will be able to get it before TechTwo's army can get there. Both players at 1-1. Pretty good concave here for TechTwo. TechTwo did have the better concave there, so that is what won him that fight. And all these medevacs are going to go down. TechTwo keeps all of his alive. And that double starport, double reactor is keeping him in a huge advantage. First armory, or the armory is just now down for shadowLurker. Still no +2 on the way for either player. Combat shield's almost done here for TechTwo. shadowLurker has not even looked into that yet. He is moving his command center down to the 3rd base now, while TechTwo is almost on his 4th. TechTwo is on a huge economic lead and did manage to keep that command center alive. shadowLurker decided not to focus fire it down. TechTwo is going to move out here, and is he going to scan anywhere and see if shadowLurker's just massing Marines? Oh my gosh, there's a lot of Marines, but not that many medevacs, so the medevacs could play a key role here. +2 is on the way for TechTwo, not on the way yet for shadowLurker. shadowLurker is having another tank on the way, though still no siege mode, so that could be a huge thing, but siege mode goes down right as I say that. Both players producing at a pretty good rate. shadowLurker getting his +2/+2 on the way, but TechTwo's going to come in here and focus fire down this command center. It is going to go down unless he gets a huge repair off, and no, it is going to go down, and TechTwo is going to try and engage this army. He does have more medevacs, but shadowLurker has a bigger army and 2 tanks in the back. TechTwo needs to back off as soon as possible. This is not a good engagement for him. He's going to lose a lot of units. He's going to lose a Thor for free as well unless he picks it up and tries to get away with it. These medevacs are running. The Thor is going to be able to get picked off. Still no stim yet. shadowLurker has not a lot of energy on his, or he has a lot of energy on his medevacs, but not a lot of medevacs, so he might not be able to heal his whole army up if they were to assist him again. Thor just now getting picked up, like, hey man, you're tired of walking, here you go. Looks like TechTwo is going for that Marine Thor build. No more Thors being produced quite yet. Both players with a really large bank, but TechTwo is working off of 4 bases, and shadowLurker is stuck on his 2 as he got his third picked off. 4 Vikings on the way, going to be able to try and snipe those medevacs as soon as he sees them. TechTwo has quite a big advantage. There's my dog barking yet again. shadowLurker going to get caught at the bottom of this ramp. TechTwo is going to be able to pick up this whole army. It looks like he has the medevac advantage, and another big engagement here for shadowLurker. shadowLurker is going to be able to pick up or clear out TechTwo's army. All these medevacs doing as much as they can, but they are not going to be able to do anything. And Vikings are going to pick off shadowLurker's medevacs. TechTwo has a lot of medevacs, and +1 vehicle plating is going down now. TechTwo's production is kind of halted for now, and shadowLurker's going to march in here and be able to pick off all these units, pulling SCVs down because he'll try to defend himself as best he can. He does have a huge bank, but it's not. It looks like he's not going to bank on that bank. Get it? shadowLurker going to be able to pick off a lot of these SCVs, and TechTwo is losing his advantage. He had a huge advantage, but just not enough barracks producing. He was in the lead, and he lost it. It's okay. A little bit more production structures, and shadowLurker is going to take the game with that. It looks like he has a huge lead over 70 food, and it's just looking like shadowLurker's just going to roll in here and pick off as much as he can. Going to be trying to shoot off from the high ground, going to land these Vikings maybe in the back, try and pick off as much as he can, but that is not going to do as much as he'd like. Natural goes down for TechTwo now, and shadowLurker is going to be able to march in here and do as much damage as possible. Picks off a medevac, and these units on the high ground are going to be able to take these out and hold off his base for now, with all those medevacs supporting him. But for how long? shadowLurker now marching into the 3rd base of TechTwo, and going to be able to take out the 3rd. Still streaming units across the map, still no 3rd going down for shadowLurker, so this is an all-in as he only has 100 minerals. If he does not win with this, he does not win the game. TechTwo is hanging in there though, very surprisingly. shadowLurker has used up all of his bank, and TechTwo still has quite a few minerals left, but both players are not mining at all, so this is pretty much a stalemate depending on what happens next. A lot of the medevacs getting picked off though, so we did lose his medevac advantage immediately, but Thor is out with +1 plating. We'll be able to pick off the Marines. Boom, 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 boom. There goes the Marines, but they are going to be focus firing that Thor. And the medevacs are going to be trying, or are getting sniped with this Viking, and it looks like TechTwo is going to clean this up. And shadowLurker is still trying to stream in units desperately, but it looks like TechTwo has quite just enough to hold this off, but the Thor is going to stay alive for now. But that is not going to be the case for long. The Marines are going to stream in here, but more Marines for TechTwo as well, and he's going to stim forward. He does have medevac, shadowLurker does not. For shadowLurker is 2-2, TechTwo is only 2-1, so that is a huge disadvantage for TechTwo. Food count is quite uneven. TechTwo is way far behind. He has no more SCVs, or not as many as he wanted because he had to pull SCVs to defend earlier, but he does have the army advantage now. shadowLurker marching in here with a lot of Marines now. All of those Marines are misrouted, and they are going to get picked off immediately, not even going to do any damage. TechTwo kind of caught on this ramp. He's not getting the concave that he wants. He's not going to use his advantage there. So shadowLurker is going to get cleaned up here by TechTwo, but at what cost? TechTwo is not mining any minerals while shadowLurker is. He could just move his command center here and mine. A couple medevac stragglers in the back here for shadowLurker. Yes, TechTwo does decide to lift off and move his SCV to that 3rd. Is going to be trying to pick off those medevacs, but they are going to get away safely for now. Command center are going to come in here to land, and he is going to send these SCVs to mine off of this base. Full energy, so he can get those mules down and get his minerals back up. Both players kind of caught at an impasse right now. They are both Hero Marine back here, getting a couple SCV kills, getting 1, getting 2, getting 3. Hero Marine gets 3 SCVs for the price of 1. That is a very good trade here for shadowLurker, as SCVs are a huge deal right now. All the mules getting dropped for TechTwo. He is going to be able to boost his economy immediately, but shadowLurker is going to come in here. Does he see this base? Yes, he just barely catches a glimpse of it, and he's going to come in here and pick off this base immediately. TechTwo needs to pull his units and try and defend this, but it looks like it will go down. He needs to move his mules as fast as possible. expected. All those mules are going to get taken out immediately. shadowLurker going to take all these mules out, and that is a huge loss for TechTwo. He does not have the minerals or the orbital energy to afford to lose that. shadowLurker has now established his third. TechTwo coming in here, going to move all his units in. Still has a couple units in the back straggling, but he's going to clean this up and be able to pick off all those medevacs. Very nice by TechTwo. Very nice engagement. Very nice trade for him. shadowLurker has both of his command centers moved out of his main bases. He is having all his units mine here. And how does he have such a huge supply lead? Because he has 59 SCVs. So that is where the huge supply lead is coming from. The army size, army count, not as huge in favor of shadowLurker as you would think. TechTwo going to decide to move out here, still only on 2-1, while shadowLurker is on 2-2, so he does have the upgrade advantage, but TechTwo has the medevac advantage for this engagement. A couple medevacs are on the map for shadowLurker, but he's going to stem forward here, not getting the concave that he wants again. He is kind of a few units back in the back straggling, not being able to shoot. He's going to pick off that medevac, and that is a huge blow, as medevacs are going to be quite the delicacy. But TechTwo is going to stem forward here, and shadowLurker streaming in Marines as best as he can, but he's going to have to fall back here, as TechTwo is going to be able to pick off these Marines yet again as they're streaming in misrallied. TechTwo going to be picking off all these Marines, picking off the medevac, picking off the second medevac. There goes all the medevacs for shadowLurker, and TechTwo is coming in here with 4 Vikings now and a lot more units. He is going to be able to come in here and pick off this third base of shadowLurker. Still streaming his units to the middle of the map. Not sure what all they are going to be able to do. shadowLurker has so many SCVs, but not enough units. shadowLurker just going to come in here, roll in here, and go ahead and try and pick off shadowLurker right now and end the game. Yes, he is going to go up into the main and pick off all production units of shadowLurker. He'll be doing his best. Once those production structures are down, it will be GG. But it looks like this army is just too big for shadowLurker to deal with. He's going to have to pull all his SCVs, and he's going to have them targeting the Marauder, which is exactly what you want. And scooting and shooting by TechTwo, very nice micro here, keeping his units alive and away from those SCVs as best as he can. And he is going to roll up here, and the tank gets a huge hit off. He's going to get a second hit before it finally gets taken down. But all these Marines at the top of the ramp are doing some huge damage, and TechTwo has no energy left on his medevac, so that advantage is gone. TechTwo does finally take out the units, and yes, he does have more Marines streaming across. It looks like this will be GG for shadowLurker. He has lost a lot of his SCVs, but the tank's sieging up in the back is going to get some huge hits off. It is targeting the medevac though, and it's not targeting the Marines. That is not what you want. And the tank is now out of range, but it will be in range quite shortly. TechTwo doing some cheeky play, getting his medevacs, or Vikings, lifting them and laying them on the tank so the tank cannot shoot them, and you get a tank for free, but these Marines are going to save this tank. And and shadowLurker is just hanging in there as best as he can. Both players are hanging by a thread, but TechTwo is going to come in here with more Marines, but there are 2 tanks now sieged up, and that is going to be able to clean up this Marine force. TechTwo still has no idea about this expansion, though. Sending his Marines back, I'm not sure where he's sending them, but if he does go ahead and find out that there is a 4th base, he's going to be right there, but he did not see it. Still working off of 1 base, TechTwo is. shadowLurker technically working off of 1 now after he lost all his SCVs from his 3rd, but he's going to throw down more barracks, hiding them. Very cheeky, clever play by TechTwo. shadowLurker. TechTwo is now pumping out Marines and no more medevacs for him. He does have 900 gas saved up, but he does not want to use that for medevacs at this moment. Looks like shadowLurker is pretty safe for now with all these tanks in his main, but both of these bases are very exposed. shadowLurker trying to get another barracks down here, but it is going to get picked off immediately. See if he can cancel it before he picks him off. But it looks like he will not be able to, as Marines do so much damage. They are going to be coming in here and picking off this command center immediately. And shadowLurker has nothing to do because he is immobile without those tanks. See if TechTwo goes for a Doom Drop here. It looks like he is thinking about it, but we are not really sure, just holding up outside of his base. He does see all those tanks with a good scan. It looks like he is going to go for a Doom Drop here in just a moment. There he goes, loading all his units up into those medevacs. Going to the very back of the base, should drop him on top of these tanks, but all these units, all his Marines are going to come in here. No medevacs for shadowLurker, but he still has the upgraded advantage. This tank's doing so much damage. 4 tanks now on the map for shadowLurker, and it looks like he will be safe for now. TechTwo needs to load up and get out of there as fast as possible. Trying to pick off the refineries will burn them down, but all these units back here for shadowLurker not doing anything, and shadowLurker's tank's just working away at that army of TechTwo, and TechTwo will have all his army taken out. He did pick off his own medevac. That is a very smart play by him. It's always good to pick off one of your own medevacs when you're in the middle of a fight, because then the other player can't pick it off. Anyways, medevac production is restarted by TechTwo. All these Marines getting pumped out. Still no other base. Yes, he is now building another base at his natural. Going to try and re-expand it there. TechTwo still has no idea about this base, though, and that is going to be the death of him. 3-3 is on the way for shadowLurker. It looks like he has just managed to hang in there just long enough to get his upgrades up and running again, and just long enough to get this base established. Excuse me. 2 medevacs that are stragglers. Going to be able to get home safe. TechTwo is now getting this +2 armor, but +3/+3 will be done for shadowLurker. Still no medevacs for him, but that is not going to matter, as he will have a huge upgrade advantage, and that is what wins games. Upgrades win games, everybody knows that. shadowLurker now holding up with all his units here at his 3rd base. TechTwo still has no idea about it. He's still not seen it. He's going to see it now as he marches across the map. If he takes this route, yes he will. Oh, he's thinking about it. He does see all the units here. He's got to wonder, why are they all holed up here? Why are they all here? He does see the barracks. Realizes his opponent has expanded already and has to back off, as he is a little bit down economically. TechTwo going to scan this, sees that there are a lot of Marines. I mean, it's 16, 24, 48, 72 plus 73 Marines. That's a lot of Marines. I really could have just clicked that and clicked 77 because there are more coming. But I was right. My math was right. I'm not good at math, but it is okay. 2 medevacs just sitting out here in the middle of the map, not doing anything. TechTwo will find those and pick them off immediately. Chooses to go the extended route. Probably going to go and try and go up here, maybe into his opponent's main and try and pick off his production, but he does have so much production left here. Gets those 2 medevacs picked off. shadowLurker sees it and decides to move out with all his army. He does have medevacs now, so and the upgrade advantage. So it looks like TechTwo is in a bit of a tight spot. He is down about 77 food, and that is it's going to be pretty hard for him to deal with this huge army. I'm not sure he has the numbers to do it. TechTwo now going to send out all his units to scout in the top left, make sure there is no base for shadowLurker, make sure he is not doing any sort of cheeky expansions. All these SCVs here in this mineral line are this 3rd base is going to get picked off, and that is going to be so hard for TechTwo to defend. All these Marines are going to march in here, target fire the Orbital Command, and he's going to try and lift it and run away, but it will be taken out as all these Marines are 3-3, and that is a lot of DPS on that command center. All the SCVs here now for TechTwo. He's going to be able to try and hold this stim forward. Both players had a pretty even concave. The 4 in the back doing a lot of work, but this upgrade advantage is just so prevalent here. These tanks in the back doing so much damage, and shadowLurker is going to come out of this fight on top. Picks off the Thor, picks off the SCVs. Going to be able to pick off all these medevacs, and there's the GG from TechTwo. shadowLurker takes game number 2 away from Infinity, and they are now up. Team Emanations is now up 2-0 against Clan Infinity.